Wake up, Private.
Who's that?
At ease, Private.
Who goes there?
Captain Simmons, A Company, 22nd Manchesters.
22nd Manchesters? Never heard of them. Step into the light. Oh, that's far enough. Let's see your papers.
I don't seem to have brought them with me. Didn't expect to wander this far.
Just stand there while I think.
The procedure is you either shoot me or arrest me. Except that you haven't brought your rifle, Private.
Yes, you've got a point.
That's better. You know, there's something about war that makes people get off on the wrong foot, don't you think, Private,
Williams, sir. Private 11372, 7th Battalion, South Staffordshire, sir!
It's a fine night, don't you think, Williams? Still and warm. You can taste the summer in the air. I'd forgotten that nights could be like this.
Sir!
Quite delightful. I always love the moonlight.
Sir!
You're going to keep barking sir to me. We'll be for a pretty poor conversation, Williams.
Sir!
Relax, Private, and that's an order. There'll be plenty of time tomorrow to be uptight. What's your name? I mean your first name.
John, sir.
John, eh? Run of the mill, but perfectly serviceable. Mine call me George. My mother, I mean. Pleased to meet you, John. Ghastly business war, don't you think?
Yes, it is, sir.
It's the sheer bloody rudeness of it all. People shouting orders at each other. Not being allowed to have a chat when you feel like it. It's a rum deal, if you ask me, when fighting for freedom means losing the freedom to tell a jumped-up Burke of a sergeant where he can stick his night duty, don't you think?
Since you put it that way, sir.
George.
George?
Looks like embarkation tomorrow.
That's what we're told. Reveille at 4, then down to the docks. D-Day is, well, it might take a day or two to assemble everybody. But I shouldn't be telling you this.
It's hardly a secret, John. Dawn will be up soon, you can tell. It's getting darker. I always found that strange.
Don't, sir. I want it to last as long as possible. Tonight, I mean. The hardest thing is trying to forget about it.
Yes, I remember that being hard.
Remember, you've seen action.
Action? Yes, I've seen it. You know, I found it helped to think of something nice. When I was over there, I used to think of a village where we were stationed for final training before embarkation. There was a girl. Always in war there was a girl. Meadows by a stream, buttercups and the sound of a steam thresher working in the distance. Have you got a girl waiting, John?
Alice.
Alice. She nice?
Yes, sir. As nice as mother's pie, you might say, Sir George.
And your mum makes nice pie. So did mine. She's going to have a baby.
She thinks so. Ah, I do hope it's a boy this time. How did you know?
It's war. It's what it does to men. Turns them into fathers. Happened to me. The girl in the meadow. The buttercups and the steam thresher working in the distance. She sent me a letter. Can't even remember her name. Are you frightened, John?
Frightened. Bloody petrified when I let myself think of it. And that there's the truth. Are you, sir?
My, what levels of civilization have we reached? Private asking a captain if he's frightened.
I'm not frightened of dying. I'm more frightened of making a fool of myself on the battlefield. Become an old cowardly lad.
Something. There's no way of knowing who it's going to be. Usually it's quite a surprise and it hits you just like that. There you are, strung out on the barbed wire in no man's land, and you suddenly find yourself watching O'Hara, curled up in a shell hole, crying with his mother. All you can think is, I never would have thought of having a poor bastard. Tell me about Alice.
Alice? Known her all my life. We've always been sweet on each other.
Childhood sweetheart.
Mother worked on her dad's farm. Had to, really. My father bought it in the last one.
The last one?
I never met him. Bought it on the Somme. July 1916. 2 months before I was born.
The children?
2 girls. Annie is 8 and Grace will be 6 next month. But with all due respect, sir, You're taking quite an interest, you might say.
Am I prying, John? I'm sorry. I was looking for something. Something to hold on to.
How many thousands of men do you think there are down there?
There must be 100,000. Not just down there, but as part of all this.
100,000.
100,000 men, all unable to sleep. 100,000 sweethearts. 100,000 mothers.
That's all. Is it right to think that you might come through all this? That you might get the chance to go home?
I can't say that it makes much of a difference, John. When the time comes, you'll follow your training. You won't think. If you're lucky, that is. It's all a matter of chance. Just keep tossing the coin and hope.
Were you a regular, George?
Joined up when it all started, more or less. August bank holiday. Joined up with a group of chaps I knew. Been drifting, you might say. Sounded like a bit of excitement. I never thought it would end up the way it did. Just go over and do your bit. Over by Christmas and back to Blighty at Ballyhero. That's what we all thought.
What's it like under fire?
I can't say. It won't be the same as it was. It's always different.
But tell me, what was it like for you?
Better not to think of that, John. There's not much time. Tell me about your house.
My house?
Yes. What can you see out of the window?
It's nothing special.
It is home.
Well, it's tucked away a bit. One of the old cottages is on the farm. Alice's dad let us have it for low rent. Down on the lake, past the war memorial.
War memorial?
2 bedrooms, and there's a front parlour. You can see across the meadow to the stream, and in the summer there are buttercups.
I love buttercups.
You can hear the stream sometimes, if the wind's in the right direction.
Reminds me of a village. A girl whose name I couldn't remember.
And there are willows, great willows marking the line of the stream.
They shipped us off to the south coast shortly after that. Not far from here, I suppose.
Beyond that, there's a field where they sow barley. Started courting behind the old threshing machine when I was 16. Got ourselves into a bit of trouble, you might say.
You could hear the sound of the guns. From over here you could hear it. That was the first sign of what we'd got ourselves into. The sound of the guns. All night, never stopped. Then they shipped us over. No questions, no choice. No second chance. It was like being poured into a great big machine. A machine where nobody knew where the switch was. A machine that just kept eating everything up. Then I got a letter. From the girl in the meadow by the stream. She was with child. Her letter said so. I hoped it would be a boy. So I clung to that thought, in the hope that I might get to see him. I clung to it in the dugout, listening to the whiz-bangs. I clung to it as our bombardment rolled forward over no man's land, trying to break the wire. I clung to that thought. When the whistle went, I clung to that thought. I clung to that thought until I found myself strung out on barbed wire in no man's land, watching O'Hara losing it in a shell hole. Poor bastard. Don't really remember much after that. The sky is starting to lighten. I'm glad I got to meet you, John.
George? Sir!